Hey, it's me, J.Evans, and it's time for my Divas of Music segment. And who are the divas that I'm talking to? Mokenstef. That's right, baby. Mokenstef is back and better than ever. And this interview exceeded my expectations, y'all. When I tell y'all, I got so much knowledge and insight and just wisdom from Mokenstef. Baby, they have a story to tell and they are going to tell it. So this is what you need to do. First, if you're not one of my apple pies, those are my subscribers. Click that subscription, subscribe, set your notifications. Next, go follow the ladies on social media. I'll post it in the description. And if you haven't seen my previous interviews, clicking that description is there, okay? So we are going to get caught up with the ladies. I want to thank the ladies again. Monifa, Kenya, Stephanie, y'all were amazing. It felt like I was talking to somebody like in my family, one of my besties, because they are incredibly down to earth. They are not just beautiful on the outside, but the inside. And that's a big difference. When you beautiful the whole way around, they are beautiful, they are funny, they are hilarious, and they are cool as a block of ice, baby. Now, let me tell y'all, before we get into this, because I did it on my tablet through Skype, so you only see me like halfway because the tablet is too big. But bam, that's okay, baby, okay? That's okay because you need to focus on Mokenstef. So y'all will hear me asking the questions, y'all will see this much of me, but go ahead, get you something to drink, get you something to eat, because we are about to talk the talk with these divas of music. Let's talk about it. Hey, it's me.
Let's do it. Hey.
Let's
Donna.
let's do it.
Hey.
Let's go.
Hey.
Let's do it.
Hey.
Interviewing
Come
me. I
on.
appreciate you.
Let's do it.
Hey.
Let's roll.
Chopping it up
Let's
with you
do it.
like veggies in a food
Let's move.
processor for Thanksgiving
Let's
dressing.
do it. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's roll. Bam, I done blew it on up. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's move. Let's do it.
Now back to J.Evans. Let's talk the talk.
You interviewed you guys, all that is a hit. Now, what is this all about? He's mine. Real quick.
It comes from personal experiences, basically. It goes on. It's like true fact. He's mine. Actually, what happens is, men cheat, but what we said was it happens once, and that's what it says in the song. It happened one time, and I'm gonna give him another chance. And he's mine. That's a statement. And so I'm gonna have. But if it happens twice, he's out of here.
Yeah, it's about
Okay.
reality. It's about
All right. I think they feel the flavor, the flow. All right, let's give it up again for Moki.
It is. Hey, it's me, Jay Evans, and today I am joined by the legendary ladies of Mokenstef. Now, I don't know how it looks on y'all end, but it's Monifa. This is my square for Monifa, Kenya, and Stephanie. Steph, right there. Okay, so they're a part of my Divas of Music segment where we talk about the past, the present, and the future of them. Now, I'm going to roll into this introduction, and then we're going to roll into the interview, get caught up with the ladies, find out what they're working on, and they got a big surprise coming up. So everybody got to stay tuned and support. So, Mokenstef is the trio that got their name from forming a combination of each lady's name. Monifa is the Mo, Kenya is the Ken, and Stephanie is the Steph. Monifa, stop. The ladies became stars in one of the best music eras, the 90s, which we need to go back to. Now, what set Mokenstef apart from other groups is not only could they sing and rap, but they can really sing. Y'all know how older people like, ooh, they can sing like for real. And what also sets them apart is that they wrote their own music. A lot of artists don't write their own songs. Now, the ladies wrote all of the songs on their debut album as is, except for Baby Come Close, which was a Smokey Robinson remake. And it's a video for that song. If y'all look it up on YouTube, y'all will see it. Now, their debut album features the hits He's Mine. That was a top 10 Billboard Hot 100 single And by the summer of 95, it was certified gold. So it's probably proud platinum, double platinum with streaming and all that now. And they also had Sex in the Rain. Y'all remember that? That was a sexy song with a sexy video too. They to record a remix to He's Mine with rapper Grand Puba that sampled the Patrice Russian classic Remind Me. Now, the ladies did break up for a little while, but now they're back and they have unfinished business to handle, and that also happens to be the title of their upcoming book. So y'all ready, ladies?
Yes,
Yeah,
Jay, you better
ready.
tell them. You better tell
Okay,
them.
we better be ready with that introduction.
Yeah, that was great.
Jay's on point. Y'all better, y'all interviewers better be on point because Jay know what he's doing.
Take notes.
I'm trying. So, for those that don't know, how did the group meet and how did y'all get y'all record deal with Outburst Def Jam Records?
Oh, my. Okay, so you need to understand that before there was a singing group or a hip hop R&B group, we were dancers. Okay, we aspired to be, we came up, with Rhythm Nation, with Janet Jackson. Who else? Keep it going for me, girls.
Yeah, we
Hammer,
with the
Hammer Time, Hammer Dancers. We were hip hop dancers all the time.
So we danced in videos, like what Mo's saying, Big Daddy Kane, we was in his video, AMG, Domino, Kid and Play. So we were in people videos, our thing was to be like, oh, we want to be like on tour, be the best dancers, traveling all over the world. We wasn't even thinking about being a R&B and hip hop group yet. It was more like we are dancing for all these different artists. We wanted to just be on tour as dancers and choreographing. We would choreograph a lot of our routines as well. So we got together in that way. But me and Kenya went to high school together.
Yes.
So we met, we did an audition, and we talk about it in the book that's coming out. But, we auditioned Mo. And it was kind of funny, but to tell you how we formed, we were like standing in a line how we got our name, because when we were dancing, we was trying to find a name, like what's our name gonna be. So these if people know about the dance history with like Africa, Razzcast, like all these type of people, well, this guy named Africa, and I think Razzcast I think he became to be in a group too, but anyway, he was a dope dancer as well. And we used to do these ciphers in like these big clubs in Hollywood. So anyway, but we was practicing though. We was at our practice. Mo made the dance, team with us because we wanted another girl to be on our team. We just felt like we needed a trio. We didn't just want to be a duo. So we were standing in line in this formation of Mo, Ken, Steph. And it kind of sat with us. We said Steph, Ken, Mo, kind of cracked the jokes about some other ones, but Mo, Ken, Steph run. It like sat with us. We're like, oh, we like that. So that was the beginning of something really special. I'll let the other girls add on.
Mm-hmm. That was good. You broke it down without telling the story, the book, the whole story within the book. But that was pretty much it. We'll wait for the next question. I don't have nothing to add to that part. You, Mo?
No, she did good. She wrapped it up.
Now, we're gonna get into the book a little bit. Not a lot, because we can't give all the details away. But in regards to the book, y'all posted this on y'all Instagram and said, the book expresses the good, the bad, and the ugly of Mo, Ken, and Steph. Experience in the music business, and then ended it with, this book is juicy. So y'all know I'm gonna get this book because I love reading about singers and different things that they've been through in the industry.
Right.
But without giving too much away, what inspired y'all to write the book, and when can we expect it?
Well, I first want to say that this book, the concept of this book came up it came a long time ago. And then Stephanie, she resurfaced the idea. Even we were no longer a functioning group at the time. But Stephanie invited us in the room to basically complete what we started off like over 20 years ago. And so we're able to, the cool thing is that we're talking to our to our longtime fans and we're talking to our new time fans, we kind of want to take you guys on a journey on how we came up. And in that journey, you'll see pictures. It's not just us talking. We have a lot of our own photos that we took. So, you know, if you can remember from a Polaroid, from a 35 millimeter throwaway camera, you know, so we have all those pictures that we took. We weren't using camcorders, of course, existed. We're not that old, but no one was really walking around with those at that time. At least we weren't. This was before cell phones. So it's kind of like we kind of take you on our vintage journey. You know, like going back to grandma's house, you know, and looking at those photos, and you can kind of look at those photo albums, which we don't really have anymore, right? And so that's kind of what our book is. It's a photo album, kind of like diary-ish, you know, like we're writing in our diary, but at the same time, we're taking on our own accounts at the same event. And you're going to see people who weren't maybe as well known as they are today. So you're kind of going to see them looking their best at that time versus who they are. You'll see, oh, they came a long way. You know, we're dealing with people where we work with people as
Mary J. Blige,
right?
You know, Big Daddy Kane, Faith Evans, you know, D'Angelo, Tupac, Lil Kim,
all those 90 groups that were coming up. That's who we were nestled in with. And you said the 90s music is a good era, but you have to understand where we were birthed from. It's where we were birthed from. So if we're loving jazz, you kind of got to get back to our roots for it to be as good as it was in the 90s. So it's our roots that made the 90s music is hot as it is, and it will never die.
Yeah, and so what Mo's saying as far as like with that, with those pictures, which is so incredible. I don't know if you ever did this, Jay. If you ever been in a situation where you see pictures on, let's talk about, because right now it's social media, Instagram, or whatever, you see pictures with a group of people from they went to an event somewhere. Mm-hmm. We have those type of pictures where we was on tour, like festivals and stuff with different groups, and what's going on. We talk about what was happening in those pictures. So when I say we ever saw pictures, you'd be like, wonder what they was doing. Well, we actually talk about what that was like, what that meeting was like, what that encounter was like, what went down, you know, with Tupac, one of our favorite artists in the world, rest in heaven, King, one of the dopest in the game. We talk about our journey with him. We could have did a song with him, but he passed away before that can happen, but this stuff that we talk about in the book that's incredible, that I think that what makes our book different is the fact that it's three of us with our own perspectives about what went down. You know how people could be talking about how they feel about something, and one person might have felt a whole nother kind of way, but they perceived it a whole kind of way. And that's what's so dope about it, because it's all three of us doing it and not just one person writing the book. It's all of us. And so you get to see the different, the good, the bad, the ugly. So it's some funny moments. We crack jokes about ourselves looking busted. You know what I mean? Like, you know, looking crazy. Like, we like, dang, it's a trip how we look like that. But that's just the realness of who we always been. We always been real and authentic. And now people get to see the authentic stuff that we always been. We never been fake. We're not trying to be funny, but we always been authentic.
And then another thing about the pictures is regarding the good, bad, and the ugly. It might be one picture that we all have our perspective on, but one person might be saying something good about it. One person could be saying something bad about it, and one person could be saying something ugly about it based off the experience in that one picture that we all had. So you'll get that too, which is interesting. Different perspective.
That's true. That's true.
I think that's dope, because usually, like, when people write a book, like, I'm gonna say Aretha Franklin, I got her book, right? Okay. And it's only like a small section of pictures. So I think that's dope that y'all can talk about it in detail, because I be wanting to know, where was they at? You know, you looking good. Where was you at? Who was you with? Oh, who you were supposed to.
That's exactly it. That's exactly. And you know what? No one starts at the top. And kind of like another good tool that we can kind of teach. You will see us from our humblest beginnings, and you know, and we want to share those moments before getting to the top.
So show artists, because you know, artist development is so sad that artist development is gone, and we kind of give you artist development material. in a way in our book, because we need that artist development again for a lot of artists, because they just come in just shooting real quick, just that microwave type of artist, just coming in like that. But it's like real, when you like really feel it and work hard for it, it's a different feel, you know what I mean, than a person that's just like getting in it so quick off a YouTube star. Not to knock you, that's cool that you do it. You got your hustle. We all got hustles. There's different ways, but it's a different vibe. And so we kind of can show a lot of artist development in there too, with all those artists, even those big time artists that are very successful now.
Mm-hmm.
When can we expect this book? Because I'm ready.
Right.
That's a good question.
Soon.
Yes, it's coming real soon.
Because we finished it. We finally finished it, because that was because it wasn't like put together like that. It was very thought out, well thought out and planned. When I brought it to their attention, I knew that we need to talk about unfinished business over 20 something years of stuff, how we left, who wanted to leave out the group, who was tired of this foolishness in the group, who was still trying to keep it together, trying to hold on, so you get to see that, you know what I mean? You get to, and we being honest how we felt about the person that wanted to leave and what we was trying to do while that person was leaving. It's an emotional roller coaster, but it's very therapeutic for us.
And it's real. That sounds real. Because I like people that's going to give you not a watered down version, but, if I'm going to pay my $20, $30, make me feel, don't give me all the dirt, because you ain't supposed to tell everything, but make me feel something, that I walked away with something.
An impact, yes.
Yeah. So
I think people really what I like about it, because I've read a lot of people's books too, but I really like what we're talking about. You know what I mean? I really like what the type of information we're giving you, but not just about us, which is very good because we're the focal point, but just other accessories around it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's really interesting to see these different, and then to see our personality, how we be clowning when we on the road, how we kind of before them girls, Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton, which I love them when they did that little show. That's how me and Kenya used to be. We should have had our own show like them. We used to like pranks on people on the road all the time where people would believe us. We would, I mean, we had Mo in situations, Mo's like, oh my God.
But we would keep it going.
So when the book drops, are y'all going to drop some new music with it? Because I know it's changed from everything like streaming. Like, I miss being able to go into a record store and buy my copy of my CD. So are y'all going to drop some music with this?
Yes, we have a lot of music. You're right. We have a lot of music though. And it is, I miss that too, Jay. I miss them CDs and I miss that. I really do. I'd be excited about those DJs that still be doing the vinyls and DJing. Yeah. I like that when I see that, but yeah, we do. So it's exciting. So you're going to see some music with that too. We have so much that we have.
I think I should drop an album called Unfinished Business that can go with it. And then y'all get like a movie, because everybody getting a movie. Y'all get a movie, because this seems more honest. Because some people break and be like, "Oh, we just got tired." No, that ain't it.
That ain't it. That ain't it.
Exactly.
We ain't saying that at all. Cats were stressed, depressed. College, we went to college also. So we talk about, we was college students that graduated from college trying to, I remember an interview with this guy from Chicago. He was like a slickster, like, I don't know, he's from Chicago, from the one of those newspapers. I forgot what it was called. It was very popular in Chicago Tribune, I think it was Chicago. Yeah. But he was like an older guy. I remember him interviewing us just to let you know something. And he was tripping off when we said we was in college. And he was like, "Oh, y'all ain't gonna be in the business that long. Y'all too smart. Y'all too talented. Y'all too smart. Mentally, y'all too smart." Like, he said that to us. We were young kids. I remember him saying this. I'm like 19, 20 years old or something, like 20 probably. He was like, "Yeah, I can't see y'all lasting that long. Y'all too smart for this business." And I'm like, wow. But we talk about, that's some real talk what he said, fast forward, because we talk about how we did depart for a second, because we do have too much game. We was too smart with certain things that we were asking. And people, when women ask, you think you a bitch. Sorry, I don't know if you can say that on your show, but they think you acting like a beer, and that's not really what it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's like we really concerned about what's going on. Like, can we ask the question? Why you offended? So we probably was a little bit too smart for our own good, for the own industry good.
Okay, now, everybody want to know. I think I know the answer. What caused y'all to break up? But we got to buy the book for that, right?
That's right. You have to buy the book. You do, and you would understand. Hopefully, you will, because everybody has their own story in that story. So hopefully and that's the cool thing. You'll be like, oh, she's that, and oh, she's like that, and oh, she's like that. You'll be able to see our person or read our personalities in how we are.
And what's dope too, though, when you ask that, we also, it's a lesson learned also. Like in our book, when we talk about a lot of the stuff, even the pictures that we're talking about and things that happen, the good, bad, and ugly, we talk about lessons from it. So like we kind of give you a lesson also, like we talk about what happened and what could have been done or a lesson behind it. That's also included in the book too. In certain scenarios, we like, okay, this could have, just like with the breakup, it could have been handled differently. Or could it really been handled differently?
Or what do you think? We would like for our readers, we're gonna create a platform where we'll all be able to talk about this after the book is sold and after it's out there, and we're all gonna talk about, how would you have done it, and do you agree or disagree?
Mm-hmm. Because the industry is a cold game. Just to give you the juice, it's some dirty stuff that go on, in this game. So we are talking about some of that dirty stuff that that people sometimes be shy and don't want to talk about.
I'm ready for this now. Get back together, because some groups, if they have like a time where they break up, a lot of people like egos. Like I'm just gonna say like New Edition. When they came together, they had that movie. Then bam, broke up again. Then it's just BBD and Bobby, and like what helped y'all be like, we can come back?
Great. This is a good segue into a part of our book, which we actually explain about how important it was for us. We were not that type of group that was put together. Okay, we put ourselves together. So therefore, that puts a different kind of seal on your relationship or how long you're going to last. And you brought up New Edition as a great example. It's so unfortunate, but they're family, right? And they go through their ups and downs, and so they just tired. I wouldn't say ego. They just probably a little tired and fed up and growing up. But we love New Edition. And it is
actually, that's another thing that Ramon's saying. That's an added thing about that people don't know. We were managed by the New Edition's manager, Brooke Payne, as well. So we talk about that in the book, like what happened with our journey with Brooke Payne. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we had a situation with Brooke Payne and also another manager that we talk about, how we had to choose between another popular artist who was managed by somebody.
Yes.
And Brooke Payne, and we had to decide who we was gonna go with. So we talk about that also. So when Mo said their family, because we were part of that same umbrella for for a minute.
Those decisions that you have to make, as an artist, and especially in our time, it was like no one really knew what to do or how to do it. Management at that time was really shady. We ran into a lot of shadiness when it came to management. And so unfortunately, we had to manage ourselves, which is a good side and a downside to that. And so we share those things that we went through in our book to kind of let you know those split decisions that you're going to have to make, and you're going to have to be satisfied with it, whether you got some good out of it or not. You just got to be satisfied in the decision that you make. And for the most part, we are satisfied with some things, and some things we're not, that we did not have control over. So those are the things we talk about in the book as well.
Do y'all think age and time help y'all get back together? Like I can say now I'm 40, right? And you know how like you go on Facebook and they have like old stuff you posted might pop back up, and I'll be like, did I say this? Like my grandma didn't raise me like this. What was I thinking? Do y'all think time helped y'all too?
Yeah, I would say that. Go ahead. I would definitely say time was a very great factor for us, because if you saw some of the stuff we did in our 20s, see, social media wasn't involved. So we
Thank
are
goodness.
we actually are good Samaritans. We're like good. We're actually angels on social media, considering, so in this era for us, we're angels. But honey, if we was in social media time in 20 and 30, keep it real, it wouldn't have been a good look.
Yeah, we would have been a hot mess. And we use those terms. Remember, we used to say hoochie for us. It's ratchet. I don't know
Yeah.
what the newest thing is right now, but we would be like considered hoochie,
Yeah,
in our days.
yeah, bougie ghetto.
Bougie ghetto, high class hoochie.
High class hoochie. We had a song called High Class Hoochie. So we respect the kids today, what they do, because I don't judge
Yes.
them, because I know what I was doing. If they had me on there back in the day when I was 19, 20, 21, 22, a lot of these young artists. So that's why we're angels on social media. So that's a good time thing, considering the time of growth, because we have a chance not to grow up on social media. You know what I'm saying? So I feel for
Yes.
those babies, those people who have to grow up on social media.
Organically
Yeah.
is how we were. Yeah, it was just a very grounding experience, and it just we were, we had a sisterhood, so it wasn't never say a disrespect. At least, look, that was my journey in it or experience in it. There was never any disrespect, so it wasn't difficult to reconnect.
Mhm.
If anything, it was just kind of like it's been a long distance relationship. Let's bring it back on in, how we used to be, but in a grown woman sense.
Yeah, and I think the personal was more stronger than the business.
That's
That
true.
help us come back together too.
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask this in regards to y'all song. He's Mine is like, it's classic. It's like a woman, a woman. I think
Betty
that's why
Wright.
yes, with so many people is because it talks about some people still deal with, whether you're in a relationship, whether you married, cheating. So I got a quote because I'm always digging, and y'all were on BET. This is like way, way back in the day. Y'all were on BET, and I don't even, the guy wasn't Donnie. It was just like some other host. So he was like, I listened to y'all song. Y'all don't remember this. I'm gonna insert it in the clip and then send it to y'all. So y'all be like, oh, that's what he's talking about, because I know y'all don't remember. But he was like, how did the song come about? And Monifa said this in regards to the song, that it was like a real situation. It happened once. I'm gonna give him another chance, and he's mine. That's the statement. But if it happens twice, he's out of here. Which leads me into this question, because y'all got a song that's really speaking to people. So, if a man cheats, what advice would you give to another woman or another man if his woman might cheat on him, to stay or leave? Because some people say we a family, we got a house, we got a mortgage, we got kids. I ain't going nowhere. Or some people look at it like it's just a one-time thing. What would y'all say to somebody that didn't know what to do?
Well, I'll start off by saying, first of all, you can't make a decision like that until you get the whole story as to the nature of the relationship, right? And two, you never want to suggest for anybody to leave or stay. That's going to be a decision that they will have to make, because it's all about the value, in your investment, and the value of the relationship is how you're going to finally make that final decision. Not what he did, not what she did. It is, what is the value of us being together or separated. So I kept that real clean, right?
Right,
that's
but you
that's
talk about that.
that's how I would approach it. Now, if there's violence, then y'all become biased, and I'll say, well, you know what, you gotta leave at least the situation and let it calm down and figure that out. That kind of leave. But to actually tell somebody, oh, you gotta cut him loose, that would be
Or
an
her.
emotional response.
That's emotional response. Yeah, and you gotta, it goes both ways. It's an emotional response, like Mo said. And so I wouldn't tell somebody, oh, just leave,
Right.
because you don't know your circumstance. You could be married, like you said, with kids, you could have a family, and a person can make them, because you need to go to counseling. I would suggest you going to counseling before I say you should leave, because we older now. But back then, I would be like, leave that motherfucker. Sorry, excuse my language. Leave him. You know what I'm saying? But as you get older and wise and wisdom and understand, like, why do people do things? Why people behavior? Why does these type of things happen? It's different now because I'm older, so I can see things differently. Now, you can't let a person keep doing it over and over again. Though that's when you got to go. That's when I would say that. But you have to see the underlying, what really went down, what it's all about, and what level. But I mean, when you be with somebody for 3 months, come on, somebody cheat on you that quick, you gotta let it go. See, it's time too, you know, it's time. You only been with somebody 6
You're
months.
not that invested.
Not that invested.
No, not 3 months.
Yeah.
And if you showing me in the beginning, then it's gonna be worse later on.
There you go.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to
and that famous quote that Maya Angelou say, that people show you who they are, believe them.
Mm-hmm.
And that is really, it is really true. You know what I mean? Unless people really can go to counseling and get it together and get their stuff together. Because I want people to know from this message, what you're saying, that it's not you. The person that cheats on you, it's not you, it's them. They are dealing with some things that they got going on, that they got to get worked on. If they're not willing to work on it, then it ain't gonna work. But it's not, I want people out here, our supporters, to know that when someone cheats on you, it's not you. It's some stuff they're going through. Because communication is the key. If you're not gonna communicate with that person, you're gonna do what you do.
Right.
Yeah. So let me flip this situation, and I'm gonna get Kenya's thoughts first. If a woman cheats on a man, why is it harder for men to deal with it? Because I feel like a lot of times, if I look at somebody like Bill Clinton or Beyonce, right, they'll be like, she did the right thing, she stood by her man. But I feel like with a guy, they'll just be like, what? Even if it was one time, why do you think men cannot handle that?
Really, that's an answer for a man, but from my perspective, what I think is, you know, a man feels like, well, maybe in the back of the head, they feel like their woman is like their property, or they own them. So when someone have sex with their woman, they feel tempered. But deeper than that, the reason why they may feel that way is because of their own insecurities from I don't know what, and I don't know where, you know, from childhood, growing up, they have some insecurities that they can't face. So they will project their feelings onto other women. But that would be the only reason why I can think. I don't know why men feel like they can't.
Well, you know, men have egos and pride. You know, it's the ego and the pride. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So they're embarrassed. You know what I mean? That vulnerability level have been exposed to them.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, I think first of all, men have feelings and they don't deal with their feelings. And when something like that happens, it reminds them that they have feelings, and it hurts like hell.
It hurts
is
like
what it is, and they don't know how to handle that heart of theirs being hurt. Is why they cannot handle it.
Yeah,
they can dish it.
They can't
but
take
they
it.
can't
Next
take
thing
it.
come back.
Yeah, they don't like to taste their own medicine. That's for sure.
Yeah. Ego and pride would tell you that they can't handle it. That ego and that pride, boy. Y'all can't handle that.
It's the ego.
Want her to be loyal. Want her to be loyal, but you can't. Want her to be loyal, but you can't distribute the same type of behavior. Makes no sense to me. Oh, it's coming. Karma's coming.
Yeah, it is. Cause I had a friend. I'm not saying your name because he watched my videos, but he'll be like,
well, now we know it's him.
On his girl, and they kind of gotten past this stage. And when she cheated on him just once, he was like, "Don't tell nobody here." Like, don't tell. I was just like, "What? Like, you done got 3 or 4 times, and she can't tell nobody. And everybody know what you did, but it's the ego." Yeah.
Oh yeah, now, they don't want that. That cannot be divulged. You know, you can't tell that. The men, they can't handle that, so they don't want to. But I commend those strong men though that do stay when women do that, and just like how we commend a woman for doing it, for staying in their certain circumstances dealing with it. I commend those men that do, you know, It's some of them out there that would do it though, but the majority of the men, like we said, the ego and the pride, that vulnerability has hit them, and they don't want to show that. So they rather go dip and go to the next woman, even though they got feelings, like Mo said, and they hurt. They gonna go with somebody else because it's too much. Like, because they feel lesser than a man. You feel less than a man when you get cheated on by your woman. Like, what you doing? You know what I mean? Like, you know, guys gonna have jokes like, dude, what you doing? You ain't got your girl. You know what I mean? You know how y'all talk, how the men be talking.
Would y'all
couldn't hold yours down?
Since that song was like a big subject and cheating is still big, would y'all do like a follow-up to He's Mine, like another part of it to show?
We do. Actually, we do have this. We do actually have this cool song. Yeah, it's called Who's Working Who. We have like a lot of songs. Like, you know,
yeah,
Who's Working
there's
Who.
so many ways.
Yeah, we have written some songs that really need to, people gonna be like that. Me or her, we got this song,
choose. So it's so many things that spawn from He's Mine. Like you say, me or you or me, or what is it again?
Yeah, it's called Me or
Her.
Yeah,
it's me or her. So we're saying make a choice. You know, all those things that, you know, those young relationships. I don't know about a seasoned relationship. We should be having those type of conversations, me or her. No, you know what you need to do. But when you're in those young, you know, relationships, you know, you kind of question, choose me or not. When you're still in a situation, a He's Mine situation, who's it going to be? And, you know, you got to be brave. Really, you have to make the decision. You're not going to don't let him make a choice, ladies. Please stop that. No, you choose. Are you going to stay or go? So, you know, so see, that's the mature me talking. The young me was asking, choose me or her.
Right. But that's why we have those different songs of that element, and then the songs of the season where, you know, and that's a good point. We got to make some more season songs.
Yes.
Now
we got a lot of clowning. We are some clowns.
That song would still generate, you know, would touch a lot of people, because we have people in that age group that's still asking, like Mo would say, like me or her, you know, it would hit the younger generation for sure.
Yes.
What is, for each one of y'all favorite memories of y'all careers?
Okay, I'll choose one. I'm just gonna say the recording of the video He's Mine. That was like the dopest experience. I mean, we've been in videos before. See, we weren't starstruck at all whatsoever, because we had already been in this lane already. But the fact that it was our video for our song, a song that we wrote, and we had so much support, family and friends that came out, that we were allowed to invite, but you couldn't, you know, it wasn't that type of video where people were there, but it was shot in a theater. And so we had a huge amount of support that came out that day. So that would be the best for me.
Yeah, besides you know, accomplishing a gold album and writing the album, what really was highlights for me was when people were actually singing the song. I see people singing the song back to me. It was just, for a moment, you step outside yourself and you see that and you just get real full. So those moments when they would sing the song back to us, that was like highlights all the time.
Yeah, being live on stage, you know, I thought, like, for me, like when when you're performing live for your audience and people that support you, that they're really spending their, like, I come from really humble beginnings. So it's like, I think about people spending their hard-earned money to pay to come see us perform. That meant a lot to me, that people are coming to they have their money. You don't know what they've been through, what they've gone through to get there to see you. And then for them to perform, you know, when you're performing and they sing your song, that's a great feeling, you know, that we did the hard work on our end by writing it. Like, nobody wrote it for us. We wrote it ourselves. So it feels so good. It's a different feeling. Like, artists can say about they love the stage and all that, but it's different conversation when you write your own music. It's it's not even a, you know, it's like, it's a whole different ball game, because we wrote it ourselves. So for something we wrote in our own house, vibing,
from our heart,
from our heart, And
Yeah.
you get the people come from their heart and they singing it and they tell us, oh, we got your song on our answer machine. Like a lot of people had our song on their answer machine. Back then we had our answer machines. They were very, that was their greeting. So yeah, hearing people feedback on what it done for them. Because you know, you got people, and that's what I respect about people. Some people think that we was talking about a man could cheat on you, that it's all good. That ain't what we was really saying, but that's fine if that's what you thought that. But some people took it where it's like, oh, this my man, and on my answer machine, you about to get this. You know what I mean? We about to clown you, my man. I got him all the time. So people ran with it the way they want to run with it, but it was coming from all different type of perspectives, and we never really was saying take a man back that cheat on you, but that's how people interpret it, and it's all good.
We were young and bold to say what we wanted to say, and what bolder way to say that's my man. Like those are usually, that comes from a strong woman who makes those, you know, that says that phrase, that's my man. You know, we didn't tell you how to, you know, we didn't tell you to fight over him, but you can make the claim. It's okay. And then when you figure out that it's really not true, then you move on and you find you another man.
Now, when I look at like, because I like music from the 90s, the 60s, the 70s, right?
Yes.
But now I feel like we don't have any groups, like new groups anymore. Why do y'all think is a lack of group? Is no female groups, is no male groups? Like the only groups we have now are artists that we grew up with that are coming back, that are touring. You know, like y'all are together, Escape. Like Escape to me is bigger now than they were back then.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Why do y'all think we don't have any more groups? Do y'all think it's because of streaming or record companies and record sales? What do y'all think?
It could just be it's not organic anymore. You know, it's tough. You have to find somebody who has been singing and inspiring to sing from day one and up to, you know, that's not really happening anymore. It's people are waking up and saying, oh, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
artist
it's
development.
Just that homegrown person who loves music first, the type of music they're listening to that made them who they are, you know, that will make them who they would, you know, that cooking stage is missing.
Because
it's
cooking. It's like somebody that's a chef, like an authentic chef cooking, right? Opposed to a microwave person that microwaves their food. No disrespect to you, but you're a microwave person. You're a person that is so quick. It's like streaming, you know, streaming. It's so quick. It can happen so fast, and people don't want to take the time to cook the music. Artist development. Simmer. The simmering, right? So it's artist development. You got it. People don't take the time because the money, because like you get the money so fast, coming so quick, so people don't want to take the time to do that because at the time we didn't make as much money as the people that's making money now.
Right.
These people are making them coins off that microwave stuff. You know what I mean? They getting paid, streaming, all these avenues hitting them, all these outlets getting that money. We wasn't getting it like that. We loved it. It was passion. So that's why these groups who are back that you got the classic groups that you like, they're back because we did all this development.
Yes, we did
that work.
Yes, we did.
And in addition to what they're saying, which all I agree with, but it's also just like a shift right now. It's just a shift in music. Like, you know, when rap first came, how you had the Jungle Brothers and you had KRS-One, and then you had Mos Def. You had like all these different ranges of rappers, and then it went all into like gangster rap for a while, and then it went all into the South, and then it went all into beauty music, and now it's like, you know, trap. Exactly. Now, you know, we were starving for female solo rap artists. Now we have a plethora of them, which is great. I love it. I think it's just the music is shifting, and then when one person come out that's hot, industry labels and people want to get the same person. Let's get a person like, you know, let's get us a Nicki Minaj, let's get us a this, you know, so people are following that trend now. And so that's the wave that you're on right now. That's just the wave. And now, and a lot of people are craving for groups, which you only get the best from the 90s. I mean, hello, Mokenstef. You know, crave for that because we are missing that. So you go back to that era and bring it back, which is a wonderful thing.
Which is
because
a blessing for us.
The
It's a
90s
blessing for
still
all
rocking
those artists.
thousands, the 2021s. So I just think it's just a shift in music right now.
Yeah.
In addition to what they were saying.
It's not the same. Like when I was a kid, you know how older people used to be like, that doesn't sound right. And now I can hear stuff and be like, that really.
But do you think that's because you're older, or is the change in the music? I was just having this conversation with somebody.
Like, I think because I'm older, when I listen to like y'all, or if I listen to like Candy Staten, Marvin Gaye, something like that, I'm like, yes. But if I hear something now and I'm like, what is they doing? What are they talking about? So I think I'm older, and it's not supposed to be for me. I'm supposed to still dig the stuff I dig. I like a couple of things like SZA. I like Cardi, but I'm still listening to Snoop Dogg. Murder Was the Case and Doggy
Yes,
Style.
that part. I just listened to him today on my way home.
I'm on West Coast music right now.
Mm-hmm. On my Pandora. If you listen to Mokenstef on your Pandora, let that be your station, Mokenstef.
Yeah.
And you listen to Snoop come on there, all that good stuff come on our you can really have a good time on Pandora listening to Mokenstef. Let that be your station.
Yeah.
They give you some good, and I love that. I'm so glad they have that, Pandora, because you can get that music, that variety of music of that time period. And then they'll play some current stuff too on there too that's currently out right now. But it's you can get that good feel, like you're saying, Jay, that you like to hear. But one thing too, like back at that time, you knew who the artist was. You can identify the vocals, the voice back then. Like, that's Mary J. That's Anita Baker. That's Mokenstef. That's Escape. That's SWV. That you can hear the difference. And TLC, you can hear the difference, But see, when you're hearing today, he's like, I'd be confused, honestly. I don't know who. My daughter has to tell me that it's somebody different. Because they be sounding the same.
Yeah, I got to read the name or the song, or listen to the DJ to say who it was, because you don't know who it's who. That's true.
Kind of sad, but it's everybody singing on the same track. Like, they all just sound the same. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
No, you ain't tripping. You ain't tripping, Jay.
Are y'all gonna go on tour? Like, the pandemic is kind of getting better. People hitting the road. Will Mokenstef be hitting the road?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, and you let people know in your town in Dallas to call us and email us. You let them know, because we are ready to give
it.
I will. They gonna be showing up and showing out.
Yeah, but we definitely, definitely. We still got it.
Y'all still do. And y'all are down to earth. Like, some people are not really down to earth, and they over the top. But I think people gonna love y'all. We gonna love to read this book. And I got 2 more questions, and we gonna wrap up, because I know y'all be here a while, and I thank y'all. What advice would y'all give to any new artists? Because we talked about like artist development. I hear so many people say that like now you can just stream your song yourself. I don't think people even use publicists anymore to release statements. They just put it on Instagram and put it on Facebook. So what would y'all tell any new artists? Because I hear so many people saying, I got a bad deal and I made this record company all this money and I'm still in the projects.
Yep.
Well, definitely take your contract to a professional. If you're handed a contract, you want to seek an attorney, legal advice for sure.
Entertainment.
Just always stay around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
keep yourself
entertainment
around
attorney.
Been with. What's that?
Yeah,
oh yeah,
we saying an entertainment lawyer, because we talk about a funny story about that in our book about
gotta have
the
attorney.
the lesson learned is something that we did. You know what I mean? You need an entertainment lawyer. Don't let that fool tell you a criminal lawyer / entertainment lawyer. You gotta make sure you got an entertainment lawyer. So but when you're excited, so you have to really make sure that you are. My advice is like, don't be so excited.
Mm-hmm.
Know your worth, know your talent. if it doesn't feel right, and make sure you have somebody that supports you to help you when don't be all alone. Like, I'm gonna do this by myself. Because some people just want to do it because they want to be in the game, and they'll sign anything. They don't even want their people around. They don't do that. Make sure you have a support system that you grew up with, that got your back, that got your best interest, and that's not yes people to you. You don't want a yes person on your team. My advice: do not have yes people around you. You got to have someone that will tell you the truth. So one of my advice: don't have yes people around you. You want somebody to tell you the truth. And even when you go into anything that you're doing. Because you got to go back with integrity. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, when you go, you want to be able to have that integrity for whatever choices that you make, whether it's with a deal, getting a record deal. So you want to make sure you do that.
Yes. Study your craft. Perform it as much as possible, like Missy Elliott did. She did it in front of stuffed animals. That's dedication. Okay? You have to study and practice your craft.
Yeah. You got to study your craft. You got to be passionate about this business because it has its ups and downs. So it's something that you got to love. Not doing it because you see the glitz and glamour.
Right.
You want to make sure it's in your soul and your heart, because it's not gonna always be good. It is not. This is a cutthroat business.
Yes.
So
everybody doesn't
come in here. Everybody don't like you like that. And then I feel mentally, but see, I'm a spiritual person. So I believe that you need to have God on your side. You need to be spiritually connected, because there's going to be wolves coming out at you. So you got to be, and that helped us a lot. And we talk about it because we were spiritually connected, with God. So a lot of bad stuff couldn't really come our way for us to do. We didn't do some behaviors that some people normally do, because you don't have that God. You don't have that fear of God. You got to fear something, and God should be that. So it's a deeper, so it's these people, a lot of these kids, they just get out there. And you get thrown to the wolves, because everybody ain't gonna like you. And so the mental has to be strong, especially you guys we have social media now. So
exactly.
So it's even magnified. 10 times for when it was for us. So when you got people and if you can't handle it mentally, that's why I say social media is not for everybody. Like, I see people talk about, I'll give your listeners an example. People talk about Mokenstef. Oh, they crazy, they this. Some people love us, some people hate us. It's okay. Everybody not gonna like you, boo-boo. Everybody ain't gonna like you. You know what I mean? And I want everybody to understand that's in anything in life. Everybody just not gonna like you. That's just how it is. And so you gotta love yourself.
That's true. I love that. Now I'm gonna ask each one of y'all these questions. If the Kenya, if the Monifa, and if the Stephanie of 2021 could go back in time to the Kenya, the Monifa, and the Stephanie of 1995, what would you tell her, or what advice would you give her?
That's a good one. Stick to your guts. Stick to that intuition that, how you're here, something speak to you, but you'll do the second voice. What the second voice said, listen to the first voice for sure. It will definitely. And stick with your gut. Stick with the plans or the ideas you had or the things that you wanted to do. Don't let outsiders or a situation take you to another route.
Deter you.
Trust that gut, trust that instinct. That's one for sure.
Yeah, that's a good one. You still
I'm trying to figure out how to put it in words, but I guess what I could have done, I say better, is just connecting with people. See what happens is the industry, you see the wolves come into where it makes you just shut down and not open the door to anybody. That's kind of what it did to me. It made me not trust a lot of, and I think by me not trusting I didn't open as many doors as I felt like we could have opened for ourselves. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good
you
one.
said it, Mo. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I totally agree with that one. That's that is definitely something that I would say too. Like, opening, not allowing people to come through because me being from, the streets, knowing that gangster stuff, and I'm coming to this business, like I'm looking at like these pimps and hoes. I'm looking at it like that's what they trying to do. They trying to pimp us, and so my guard was up.
Yeah, that part.
In certain situations, I can give a funny example. I mean, it ain't funny, but it was a real moment. But that's blocking your blessing, though.
Yeah.
You got to know how to balance it. So that was
Yeah.
the thing. I think for me, not knowing how to balance, like people were being dirty.
Yes.
And being mistrusted, and you couldn't trust them,
Right.
But you have to understand, like, some people are good though, and be able to decipher it.
Yeah.
That was really difficult being so young, and I'm on the guard, like ain't nobody gonna work me like this. So some things that was blessings for us that we could have got, we kind of blocked it because we was on our guard. Like I remember a manager was all like, it was like a famous cell phone company he was like trying to get us an endorsement deal. I'm like, oh, they trying to use us, Well, that's saying we could have got some coins off of that. But I'm telling him, I said, they trying to take advantage of us. But really, that is a smart fucking thing to do. let this company play your song so you can get paid. You know what I mean? But not knowing, because he's not knowing that. And the manager was legit. He really trying to help us get some extra money aside from just performing on stage, endorsements. You know what I'm saying? So that's an example to let you know that, what I mean by that.
Yeah,
And we talk about that in the book, by the way.
Yeah.
I get that because I know y'all remember Nicole, the one that you sing, I got what you want, make it hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she has like a whole new vibe where she's really like soul singing, and a lot of her songs are used in commercials. Like she has a song called Piece of Me, and it's used in a Reese's commercial, and she goes by Lady Ray now, but her label, I think it's like a more independent label, but they market a lot of her songs out and they're used in commercials, and people find her like that.
Okay,
like that.
great.
Yeah. That's right. That's what's up, Nicole. That's exactly what I mean. You know what I mean? But back, that was something that way back in the days, which people wasn't getting. Artists get more of that now. Being on, promoting different type of products and companies and stuff now. First it wasn't like as active like that. So when someone came, it kind of was like I had a right to be a little nervous about it, but then because it wasn't as given to artists as much back then.
Yes. Yeah, we were
and because past experiences of being burned or something dishonest had happened to us in the past. You, like Stephanie said earlier, you have your guards up. So it's like your guards are up to everything at that time back in the day.
Yeah.
I get it. So I want to thank y'all so much. I knew this was gonna go well, but it was insightful. It was funny. Like I always felt like y'all were down to earth, but y'all like my cousins down to earth. And I was ready for this book, but I'm really ready because it just seems like more in depth of like the pictures and the story behind it. So I'm hyped up about it. So everybody can follow y'all on Instagram under the Real Mokenstef. Where else can they follow y'all at?
Yeah, Twitter. Tell them, Kenya, Twitter.
That's the main one. The real one is you want to stay on IG.
Yeah, and your IG is more. Yeah, we have
and
Facebook,
right?
Yeah, Facebook, the
And
Real Mokenstef.
At the Real Mokenstef.
The Real Mokenstef. Yeah, Facebook and Instagram, all the Real Mokenstef. Yeah. Y'all can check it out. We update and let you know what's going on, and we're gonna be, sharing some more little snippets of the book because it's coming soon. Definitely. Yes. I'm excited about it. I can't wait. I'm tired of telling people it's coming soon. I can't wait for you guys.
I'm ready. Y'all gave me some tidbits I didn't even think y'all was gonna give me because I heard the part about the Tupac and the Mary J. I ain't even have to ask. So y'all go get
we
this.
gave you some love. We did give you some extra tea.
Thank y'all so much. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna put it on my coffee table because I like a good book.
Yes, Jay.
Perfect.
It's a coffee table vibe too.
Yes, it is.
Yes, I'm ready for it. Y'all come to Dallas or the surrounding area. I'm gonna come see y'all. And I
And
just
you
think
find that soul food spot when we come. We gonna call you and say, Jay, what's that soul food spot now in Dallas?
Georgia Brown. Let me tell you, this how you know the place is good to me. If I walk in and they like, hey, how you doing? It ain't gonna taste good. But if they got an attitude and they like, what you want? You stand in the
You know it's good.
it's good.
That's real talk.
And Rudy's chicken. You been to Rudy's chicken?
Rudy's?
Chicken.
Rudy's, right? Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
to Rudy's down in Dallas.
Yes.
Yes,
They got
very
a bad,
delicious. They
it's
got
delicious.
bad attitudes. You are right, but the chicken is very good.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
The lady had an attitude. She was
Every
like, yo,
time I go out there, I make sure I go there.
yeah, the line wrapped around the building. But
Yeah.
it's so thank y'all ladies again. Y'all be sure to go follow them. Go get the book, get ready for the album, and get ready for the tour. I'm gonna be ready for this book because I'm ready to read, baby, and hear these stories. So thank you, Mokenstef, Monifa, King, Stephanie. Thank y'all so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us, Jay.
Yes, we really
had a
appreciate you, Jay. Thank you for doing your homework and your research.
Yes.
We really appreciate that wonderful introduction. It just feels so good. That's why we talk to you even longer. Because you knew who you were talking to. And it just makes us feel good as artists. And we appreciate you. Thanks, Jay.
Thank y'all. My divas of music, the real Mokenstef. Thank y'all.
You're welcome. Let's get our picture, you guys. Smile. Got it.